The woods are lovely, dark and deep.
Miles to go before I
Yes,
sleep.
the woods are lovely, dark and
That's
deep.
one
but
of my
I have
favorite
many
poems.
promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Who's speaking? बोला मनोज कुमार. मैंने तो फ़ोन नीचे रख दिया. मैंने बोला कोई प्रैंक कर रहा है, कोई कुछ कर रहा है. वापस फ़ोन आया. बोला कि मनोज कुमार, एक्टर, प्रोड्यूसर, whatever, डायरेक्टर. मैंने फिल्म नीचे फ़ोन रख दी.
Fat loss, the biggest topic of today's generation. Because हमारा homeopath and Ayurveda, how much difference between these two method of treatment? Guide me, what could be the best diet plan for Indian?
You know, hari wari curry gives rise to peptic ulcers.
Tell me why cancer is so common these days.
Everybody's pumping animals with steroids, with antibiotics.
Ozempic. What is Ozempic?
Terrible.
How important it is to talk about mental health.
Why young people are dying?
One person, how can he measure that whether I am in this stage of depression?
Everybody does not need a supplement.
Mental health and hair fall का भी कुछ connection है? Let's talk about heart attack. Is hair fall mostly hereditary? Vegetarian diet and non-vegetarian diet.
That's all rubbish.
The nation's homeopath. I have your biography in my hand, and first chapter starts with a homeopath is born, and you have mentioned World War II, the global nightmare. Can you just tell us a little bit about your experience, your images, whatever you have about that era?
So, you know, I was not even born that time.
That I know.
And that was, pre-partition, pre-my birth. But that's an interesting story because my grandfather, my nana, was actually in Burma, and he had the largest sports shop at that time. He was into sports goods. And he was doing very well. My mother was, of course, there, and she was studying in a convent with her sister. And her name was Kaushalya, but because people couldn't pronounce it very well, so she had another name called Mary. And my grandfather, because he was actually Sarpal, but then he changed his name to Sir Paul, so that it sounded, British. So my mother was actually called Kaushalya Mary Sir Paul.
So 80 years
so this was,
back की बात कर रहे हैं.
Yeah, we are talking about
80 साल पुरानी.
Yeah, we are talking about, yeah. So at that time, so because she was in a convent school, and then World War II came, the Japs came, and they kind of attacked Burma, and there were tanks rolling over there. That's what I'm told. And then, of course, my grandfather had booked, a ship cabin, first class, to come to India, and because of the war, the ship left before time. Because everybody was fighting and everybody was trying to get into there were a lot of things happening at the dock. If you remember during those good old days, well, you won't remember, but you must have seen it in movies.
Yes.
There were these big steel trunks at that time. So my grandfather had packed all his worldly goods into those steel trunks, and they had to be loaded onto the ship. And so he asked people, and then the loader said, "It'll cost you 100 rupees per trunk to put on the ship." And my grandfather was very, very, very egoistic. So he said, to hell with you. I've got so many servants. I'll get somebody from my house, and they will put the trunks in. And of course, the ship started hooting, and people started rushing, and the ship started sailing much before time. So before the servants could come, and before those trunks could be loaded onto the ship, my grandfather was pushed with his two daughters and his wife onto the ship, and he could see the ship sailing away, and his entire life's collection and wealth all lying on the dock and being left behind. So that was really the agony of having built something and then lost it all over again, and to start life all over again. And he then, of course, had to come to Madras at that time, and then take a train to Sialkot, where he again set up a smaller business. And then the partition happened, and then he had to come back to Agra to set up another business. So in his own lifetime, he has seen, businesses being wiped out, and again starting life all over again after having settled well. I think it has always been an inspiration and lesson for me that nothing in life is forever.
Easy.
Everything is immediate. Everything is transient. Whatever you have, whether it is wealth, whether it is money, or whether it's good health, you can't take it for granted.
We should be prepared for any kind of unexpected.
Yeah, you should be prepared for everything, and that's how. Then, of course, my mother was an allopathic doctor. She was an an MBBS doctor, one of the few lady doctors from Lady Harding at that time. And then she married my father, who was a homeopath. And so jokingly, I say that I was born on 1st of July, which incidentally happens to be Doctor's Day as well,
Oh,
on 1st of July. And so I say I was born as a product of mixopathy. So I had a mother as an neuropath and I had a father as a homeopath. And I was born to them as a product of mixopathy. And that was in Lucknow.
so you chose to be a homeopathy, or is that like your parents wanted you to be in the same?
I think it was a little bit of both, because my parents were doctors, and as I mentioned, so obviously they wanted their eldest son to be a doctor. I was not so inclined into medicine at that time. I even wanted to look at glamour, so I wanted to join the hospitality business. One of my uncles had a partnership in a hotel, so he sent me there. And that gentleman took me first straight to the kitchen and said, "Here, you have to wash the dishes," and then took me to the rooms and said, "Now you have to do the beds." And I said, "Oh my God, this is not the glamour that I wanted." So I said, no, this is not, I don't want to do hospitality, then let me get into medicine. I thought that would be easier. And during my time, a new college was being set up, homeopathy college. And so the trustees would come home and say, we want people from good homes, so why don't you take up homeopathy? So I thought, ठीक है, it's easy, I'm getting admission, I don't have to work too hard, I'll just get there. And I actually I got invited by invitation to join homeopathy. So I thought it was a great thing to do, and that's how I joined homeopathy. But when I joined it, I then realized how difficult it is, because you have to also learn surgery, medicine, gynec, have anatomy, physiology, all of that, and plus you have to do homeopathic subjects. So it's actually very tough. And I then realized that if I really have to do well, then I have to work very hard. So somewhere, I think during those years of college, I was not serious in the beginning, but then I think after 1 or 2 years, I actually became very serious about my studies. And I then realized that it kind of helped me as well. So when I saw homeopathy acting on me, I had seen a lot of patients get all right with my father, but that was, seeing somebody else. But when I saw it working on me, that's when, the kind of, that click worked.
Click happened.
And then I said, no, now I must take this very, very seriously. So I had warts on my face. I had just a few warts, and then I had some 28 warts. Now you can imagine that when you're 17 years old and you're the general secretary of the college, and you hopefully have some pretty girls running after you, and then you suddenly have these warts on your face, and then you have so many of them, and you've got a national college day coming up, and you have some film star coming to inaugurate it, and how can you be on stage?
Correct.
And then, of course, with homeopathy, one dose, all my warts fell. Now this story is like maybe 60, 70 years old, and till today I don't have a single wart on my body. So when I saw the magic of homeopathy working on me, that's the time when I decided that I think now it's time that I took this seriously. And so I started studying very hard. I actually then started also teaching my senior students as well when I was in college, homeopathic subjects. And I think from there, then it just grew, and then it became a passion.
Yes, so from there, you are today world's largest chain of homeopathy. You have presence of 10 different countries.
Yes.
And then 200 plus clinics all over the globe.
Yes.
You're also considered as a celebrity's doctor. Tell me about that.
No, not really. I'm saying it's been a very hard journey. First of all, about the first part that you said of building the largest chain of homeopathy clinics in the world, it's been a very hard journey. It's not been easy at all. What people see is just the glamour. They see the final product and they see that everything is very nice and good. But that's not actually true, because, when I started homeopathy, it was not very well known. It was not even, neither was it commercially viable, and nor was it socially viable. So I remember that when I just became a doctor, I was very young. I was 22 years old. I was one of the youngest doctors in the country at that time. And if I was talking to a lady like you and then asking you about your migraine and your headaches,
right.
And then I remember I asked her, okay, how are your periods?
Right.
And then she banged the table and thought I was trying to act fresh and just walked out because I was a young doctor. And so for some time I actually wore zero number ka chashma,
to look old,
so that I could look older, and I won't say old but more mature.
Mature, correct.
Because at that time it was believed that you had to have grey hair to prescribe white pills. So you had to have experience, and without experience you could not really be a doctor, and you could not be a homeopath. So from there it was a very hard thing. So I had to actually catch people, I had to, like missionaries, I had to convince them about homeopathy, talk to them for 2 to 3 hours. I had to go and visit the slums areas, get the poor people to come and take homeopathy free. I mean, even for free they didn't want to come. And I still remember that even when I would go to a party somewhere, to some glamorous parties like your parties, and go over there and then talk to people, and then they would say, "Oh, what do you do?" And I'd say, "Well, I'm a doctor." "Oh, really? Dr. Batra, wonderful. So happy to meet you. What medicine do you practice?" "Homeopathy." "Oh, bye bye."
What was that?
So that was, well, that was then, it was not socially recognized. So,
Correct.
they said, "Oh, homeopathy hai to, koi पढ़ के करता है, किताब पढ़ के पढ़ता है." It's not socially acceptable. Today, of course, it is very socially acceptable. People want to talk about the homeopaths very proudly, but at that stage, it was not there. And the similar thing was also about money, about economy. That when I wanted to start my first clinic, my own clinic, I mean, I was in practice in 1974, but I wanted to start my own clinic in 1982, nobody would give me money. So, medicine was not recognized as an industry, so banks would not give me money. Finally, I got money from a private bank to some part, but I had to borrow from friends and well-wishers at the rate of 36% per annum, which was at that time the Bollywood rate, because that was the most dangerous industry in the world at that time.
God.
So I had to borrow that money, and it took me 10 years to repay my loans.
Correct.
So whatever I earned just went back to my friends to repay them, and to banks to repay my whatever loan I had taken. So even to set it up was very, very difficult. And a similar thing happened also for every country that I went. The country had its own laws. It was so difficult to find the right people to. Even in Mauritius, I went in 1996. I remember the vice president telling me that homeopathy is not recognized. If you start a clinic here, I'll put you behind bars. I'll put you in jail. You cannot practice over here. And then I went every weekend to Mauritius, and then once a month to actually treat the Prime Minister, the President, the Health Minister. And when they became all right, and when
They started
then they
trusting.
started trusting. Then 6 months down the road, we actually legislated an act in favor of homeopathy. Until today, homeopathy is now recognized in Mauritius as well. So in every country that we went, there were challenges like this.
Correct.
And I'm very happy that we are able to overcome those challenges, and then finally, put homeopathy on the map. So today, homeopathy is recognized in more than 175 countries in the world, but we at Dr. Batra is only in 10 countries of the world. So we have a long way to go. So I always say this, and I will say just two things. Number one is Sir Robert Frost, who said, "The woods are lovely, dark and deep."
Miles to go before I
Yes,
sleep.
the woods are lovely, dark and
That's
deep.
one of
but
my
I have
favorite
many
points.
promises to keep, and miles to go before I
Before I
sleep,
sleep.
and miles to go before I sleep.
Correct.
So that's how it is. And the other one that I remembered also of the challenges, which is also in Hindi, is कदम चूम लेती है मंजिल आकर, कदम चूम लेती है मंजिल आकर, अगर राही खुद अपनी हिम्मत ना हारे.
Wow.
So a lot of it has to do with courage, it has to do with determination, it has to do with, putting passion before yourself and making sure that you realize and you achieve your dreams.
Take us to your extraordinary journey. An ordinary boy to Sri Padma Bhushan Dr. Mukesh Batra. 50 years of homeopathy practicing. Obviously, I already said celebrities doctor. You are an accomplished author, singer, photographer. What else I'm missing? Philanthropist. Please tell me what else I'm missing here. Unfold the journey like ordinary boy to extraordinary.
I'm still ordinary boy. I'm still as ordinary as I was always.
I'll pretend like I'm believing you.
I'm a very simple.
not.
I'm a very simple guy. You got to believe me. I still get into autos when there are no cars, even though I may be driven by a very posh car. But otherwise, if I
Correct.
don't get it, and when I'm traveling, for example, I just take whatever is available. For me, it's just getting from point to point. It makes no difference. But yes, since I worked hard and I could afford it, then today I have a good vehicle, I have a good home, I have got everything else in life that one can ask for. But that's not the end goal, and that's not something that, I'm as simple as I was. So when I was in Agra and Lucknow, I came from a very simple background. My parents were not very rich, they were, professionals, and like we were all middle class
लेकिन
people.
उस दौरान में आप डॉक्टर फैमिली से आते हैं तो आई थिंक सिंपल फैमिली तो नहीं बोल सकते.
नहीं, पर ये जो डॉक्टर फैमिली है उसका जो अंदाज है, जो ख्याल है, वो अलग होता है. क्योंकि
जैसे कैसा होता है?
मेरी माता जी जो थी, शी वाज द डिप्टी डायरेक्टर जनरल ऑफ हेल्थ सर्विसेज. सो उनको तो फिक्स सैलरी मिलती थी. मेरे पिताजी जो थे वो प्रिंसिपल थे कॉलेज के,
बट यहाँ
एजुकेशन
पे
से।
हम कितने साल पुरानी बात
तो
कर रहे
उनको
हैं?
भी हम बहुत साल पुरानी बात कर रहे हैं,
तो उस
75
टाइम पे
ईयर्स अगो,
अगर माता जी
75 ईयर्स।
सर्विस,
पर वो बिल्कुल बहुत ही यानी
आज के डेट में माय मदर इज अ
yeah,
हाउस होम
no, no,
मेकर.
no, no. I'm saying, but the whole this thing is that people believe that medicine is always a very rich profession. It's always money.
Right.
But that's not true, because especially at that time, 70 years ago, 75 years ago, uh, and also my parents were in service. So when you're in private practice, you can earn a lot of money. But when you're in service, then you get limited amount of money.
Correct.
So it was better than other professions, but it was still limited. So हमारा जो बचपना हुआ था, तो हम 3 भाई थे, मेरे 2 छोटे भाई हैं, पर हम लोगों को एक ही थान में से कपड़ा काट के हमको पहनाया जाता था।
बट शायद उस
So-
दौरान ऐसा ही होता होगा ना.
सो सब घर में ऐसा नहीं होता था, बट जो मिडिल क्लास घर थे उसमें ऐसे होता था। मेरी माता जी जो हैं वो फिर भी अपने जो थोड़े थोड़े से पैसे होते थे वो चावल के टोकरी में डाल देते थे कि कहीं बचा के रखें, जार में, कभी कभी तकिए के नीचे छुपा के रख देती थी। तो आई थिंक दीज आर ऑल टिपिकल। आई स्टिल रिमेंबर माई मदर बाइंग अ प्रोडक्ट because it had a free stainless steel ka chamcha. So you actually used to buy a product because then she could make, if she bought, for example, washing powder,
Right.
which gave a free spoon inside, and if she bought
She'll
it 10
choose
times,
to
then
buy
she would
that
get 10
one.
or 12 spoons, which we could use in the house. I mean, that was the mentality with which we were born. So it was not that we had a very rich upbringing. It was not that just because my parents were doctors, we had everything. We had very limited resources, but my parents never let us feel that we did not have enough. They always gave us whatever we want, and we had all the basics. So while we were not poor, but we were not rich, and we certainly were not spoiled. So मेरा जो बचपन था वो एकदम साधारण बैकग्राउंड से था। मैं बाइसिकल चला के मेरे अंकल मुझे स्कूल में छोड़ते थे जब मैं छोटा था। जब मैं नाना के घर में था तो मेरा रिक्शा वाला था, तो रिक्शा वाला लेके जाता था स्कूल में। और मुझे याद है कि हमको कभी कभी रिक्शा से उतर के उसको धक्का मारना पड़ता था, बिकॉज इफ़ इट हैड टू गो अपहिल इट वाज नॉट ईजी। देयर वर नो कार्स एंड देयर वाज नो मोटरसाइकिल्स एट दैट टाइम, एंड देयर वाज नथिंग एल्स। सो आई थिंक इट वाज वेरी सिंपल चाइल्डहुड, एंड आई थिंक दैट स्टेड विद मी ऑल माई लाइफ, बिकॉज आई हैव सीन दैट। जब मैंने अपनी प्रैक्टिस शुरू करी, तो मैंने जब शुरू किया तो मैं 150 रुपया कमाता था फ्रॉम अ चैरिटेबल क्लिनिक। 150 रुपया इन 1974 was still not enough money. It's like, not even $2, $2 a month is what I used to earn. I had to get up in the morning, wash my dishes myself. I could not afford 100 rupees for a servant at that time. मुझे 3 बस बदली करनी पड़ती थी to go to my place of work so that I could save money. Even later on when I started also earning something, I remember when I opened my clinic in Baroda, तो होटल का खर्चा बचाने के लिए मैं बरोडा एक्सप्रेस रात को लेता था, so that I could sleep in the train in the night. अपनी क्लिनिक में जाता था, रात को क्लिनिक में सुबह पहुंचता था, सीधा वहाँ पे ब्रेकफास्ट की, चाय की, शेव किया, बाथरूम जाके तैयार हो गया, सारा दिन पेशेंट दिखे, शाम को फिर एक गुजराती थाली खाई, फिर वापस ट्रेन में आए, रात को वापस ट्रेन में सो गए आफ्टर सीइंग पेशेंट द होल डे। नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग रीच बरोडा एक्सप्रेस एट 5 o'clock बॉम्बे सेंट्रल। घर आए, अगेन वॉश किया, तैयार हुए, और नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग वापस क्लिनिक में पहुँचे, बॉम्बे की क्लिनिक में। So I've lived my life like that. It's not that I have flown all over, or I've been rooted, and I think that's what's made me what I am today, and that's what allows me to function. I'm saying all these are facilities. If you have them, जो हो तो अच्छा, जो ना हो तो और अच्छा.
और भी अच्छा.
It's like that. So it doesn't really matter. I'm saying it's all a state of mind. So I'm used to living under all kinds of circumstances, even though I do like my comfort. But if I don't have it, it's all right. So
You
I
don't
think
complain.
so. It's been a long journey from that little boy, as you said, जिसको अंग्रेज़ी भी नहीं आती थी, क्योंकि जब मैं बॉम्बे आया तो मुझे फिर कैंपियन स्कूल में एडमिशन मिला, विच वॉज वेरी काइंड ऑफ पॉश स्कूल. वहाँ पे राज कपूर के बेटे पढ़ते थे सब, दे वर माई क्लासमेट्स, और थोड़ा आगे पीछे. सो वी हैड ऑल काइंड्स ऑफ इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट पीपल देयर, देयर चिल्ड्रन वर स्टडिंग इन द स्कूल. और मैं आया हूँ एक देहात से, इन अ वे स्मॉलर सिटी, and then coming and not even knowing how to speak English. So I had to actually work very hard even for that. I had to actually learn on my own, and I learned all of Shakespeare, and I practiced it very hard, and then ultimately I think I got more than 90% marks in senior Cambridge in English literature. So I evolved, and today I'm an author as well. So I've moved from
That's what I was coming to. Anyways, today you are author,
Yes,
Even though-
and an author of 10 books, and I write one new book every year, and with a multinational publisher, not with a local publisher. So
Correct.
it
Yeah.
needs a lot of credibility to do that, and a lot of effort as well. So from एक लड़का जिसको अंग्रेजी बोलनी नहीं आती, अभी उसने 10 अंग्रेजी किताबें लिखी हैं, and a
So
lot of
good.
them are bestsellers. So I think it's been a long journey, but it's not been easy. यानी सब कठिनाइयों का सामना करना पड़ता है, बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ती है, दिलो जान से, कभी कभी जो है, इवन एज डॉक्टर्स हम लोग कभी रात भर नहीं सोते थे, because we had to conduct deliveries, we had to go to hospitals, we had to do emergencies even as a student. And we've done that even in practice कि हम लोग दिन रात काम करते थे, कभी कभी 2 घंटे रात को 3 घंटे सोते थे, और फिर आज हमको 8 घंटे की नींद पूरी होती है, but that is only because we worked so hard all these years.
I'm very intrigued to know why you are also considered as celebrities, doctor. I know you're trying to skip it, but मुझे जानना है.
I don't know why. I think for me every patient is a celebrity, and I think I've been as passionate about any patient
You
who
have
comes to me.
treated industrialists, you have treated
Yes.
all the politicians, you have
Yes.
also treated Bollywood stars.
Yes, I have.
थोड़ा
also
हमें उसके बारे में बता दीजिए ना.
No, I've treated, but I'm
You're
saying
very famous in Bollywood.
no, a lot
circle.
of it has been by accident. I've just been blessed. So मुझे याद है कि many years ago I wrote one article. एक म्यूज़िक डायरेक्टर की लड़की थी, वो मेरी पेशेंट थी, तो उसने कहा कि मैं काम कर रही हूँ एक मैगज़ीन में, आप मेरे साथ चलिए. तो मैंने कहा ठीक है, तो मैं उसके साथ गया. तो उसके एडिटर ने कहा नहीं, मुझे तो होम्योपैथी पसंद नहीं है, आई डोंट वांट एनीथिंग अबाउट होम्योपैथी, आप चले जाइए. फिर उसने कहा कि भाई पास में एक और न्यूज़पेपर है, मैगज़ीन है, उसके पास चलते हैं. तो उससे बात की, तो उन्होंने कहा ठीक है भाई, मैं आई लाइक यू, पता नहीं कुछ सादगी या कुछ उसको पसंद आई. उसने कहा आप लिखिए, मेरे एक पेपर के लिए आप एक आर्टिकल लिखिए. सो इट वाज लाइक लाइक द पुअर मैन्स रीडर्स डाइजेस्ट. एट दैट टाइम इट वाज कॉल्ड द मिरर मैगज़ीन. तो उसने मुझे कहा कि आप लिखिए. तो मैंने लिखा तो उसने फाड़ दिया और वेस्ट पेपर बास्केट में फेंक दिया. फिर मैंने वापस लिखो, मैंने वापस लिखा, वापस फाड़ दिया. तो ऐसे 7 टाइम्स मुझे रिजेक्ट किया. टुडे आई एम एन ऑथर, बट मेरी जो पहली आर्टिकल थी 7 टाइम्स उसको रिजेक्ट करके वेस्ट पेपर बास्केट में डाल के अल्टीमेटली ही सेड कि चलो अभी अच्छा है. एंड आई रिमेंबर दैट आर्टिकल वाज कॉल्ड होम्योपैथी इज नॉट अ क्वैक. वो आर्टिकल पढ़ के मनोज कुमार का फ़ोन आया. was at that time also he just passed away.
Right.
And he was like my elder brother, and he was very fond of me. He was very fond of homeopathy. जैसे आपको पता है कि इंडस्ट्री में काफ़ी लोग हैं जो होम्योपैथी प्रैक्टिस करते थे. सलीम खान भी उनमें से हैं. और अशोक कुमार थे.
प्रैक्टिस करते थे.
That time you could read books and practice. Manoj Kumar was also one of them.
You mentioned in your book.
So quite a lot of them were there. O.P. Nayyar was there. He used to practice homeopathy. His granddaughter is now becoming an actress, so she's already an actress, Niharika. So there was already people there. So Manoj Kumar was one of them who kind of believed in homeopathy. So उसका फ़ोन आया कि am I speaking to Dr. Batra? मैंने who's speaking बोला मनोज कुमार. मैंने तो फ़ोन नीचे रख दिया. मैंने बोला कोई प्रैंक कर रहा है, कोई कुछ कर रहा है. तो लग वापस फ़ोन आया, बोला कि मनोज कुमार, एक्टर, प्रोड्यूसर, व्हाटएवर, डायरेक्टर. मैंने फिल्म नीचे फ़ोन रख दिया. मैंने कोई पागल है, कोई ऐसे ही तंग कर रहा है, कोई मजाक कर रहा है. मेरे कोई दोस्त मजाक, मेरे को वैसे भी कोई प्रैक्टिस होती नहीं. उस टाइम 1-2 पेशेंट आते थे बस, वो भी 1-2 पेशेंट हफ्ते में. मैंने कहा ये तो कोई ऐसा ही है. फिर 3rd टाइम फ़ोन आया, अरे भाई मेरी बात तो सुनो, आई यू द ऑथर ऑफ होम्योपैथी नॉट अ क्वैक. जब उसने वो कहा, फिर मैंने ये तो मेरा आर्टिकल है, ये तो मैंने पढ़ा. मैं बोला हाँ. बोला आई वांट टू कम एंड सी यू. ऐसे ठीक है, नहीं मैं अभी आ रहा हूँ. फटाफट फ्रॉम जू ही केम टू माई क्लिनिक इन मलबार हिल एट दैट टाइम. And that's it. The rest was history, because then he became my friend. I used to go to his house. We used to have, sit on the floor and eat, because he used to always eat in a thali, and on the ground. And we used to talk about homeopathy. We used to talk about life. And then through him, one by one, the whole chain of film stars started coming, directors started coming. So all the people that you think are well known in Bollywood then started coming. And I think similar things happened. One patient got another patient, whether it was in politics, whether they were prime ministers, by word of mouth. So that's how it happened. So, but they are just a small part. They've been a small part of my practice, but of course they've been a very important part, because, when people see you coming,
Correct.
Like you can't hide it, because I never used to make house visits. So people used to come to my clinic. So अगर कोई film star अगर आपके दवाखाने में आ रहा है, then by the time they went out, there were some 10,000 people outside on the road. सो लोगों को तो पता ही चल जाता था कि भाई ये यहाँ पे आ रहा है. And then they presume that you must be good. And the same thing happened in Bangalore also. You know, one of my, very, very famous film stars over there, who was called the Amitabh Bachchan of the South. He came, and the same thing happened that after he came, then, suddenly so many young people started lining up in the clinic over there. So I think Bollywood is still a very strong attraction. And people actually believe in, I think the only two things that work in India today are cricket and Bollywood. So if a cricketer endorses you or says that you're good, and if a Bollywood star endorses you, I think then you know that you got a very, very, very big fan following.
And anyways, you always wanted to be in a glamour kind of world. So that also pushed you to the glamour
No,
world.
I never wanted to be in a glamour world. I'm
You
still
said
not.
that you wanted something which should be
No, I'm never.
glamorous kind of world.
No. Oh, that time, yes, that time. Yeah, as a child,
So
yes.
that pushed you to the glamour
That, yes,
world.
but that was a different. That was glamour as a profession, not as
Okay,
not as
the
glamour
connection
parties or
kind.
not as glamour. Yeah.
आप मुझे ये समझा दीजिए, होम्योपैथ एंड आयुर्वेदा, how much difference between these two method of treatment?
Well, they're totally
क्योंकि
different.
आयुर्वेदा नॉर्मली इंडियन फैमिली में, इंडियन किचन में
जी.
हम लोग मानते हैं कि हल्दी दूध पीना या
जी.
फिर काढ़ा अगर सर्दी हुआ तो ये सब चीज़ें आयुर्वेदा में हम कंसिडर करते हैं.
True. So Ayurveda is a very old Indian science.
Right.
It's more than 2,000 years old, and it's all natural again. Homeopathy is actually a German science.
Okay.
So homeopathy was founded in 1796 by a German MD doctor called Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. और फिर वहाँ से वो एक हिंदुस्तान में आया, और उसकी भी एक बहुत अद्भुत कहानी है जो मैं आपको बताऊँगा. So, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann was an MD doctor. He had a son who was not well, and his son died of some mysterious ailment. तो उसने कहा मैं अपने बेटे को ठीक नहीं कर पाया, तो ये सब MD डॉक्टर बनने का मेरा क्या फ़ायदा हुआ. So he gave up his practice. And then he started doing research, among books. He was also a linguist, so, he started translating books. And then he came across something saying that, malaria जो है वो cure करता है because it is quinine cure करती है because it is bitter. And then he realized कि ये तो सही नहीं हो सकता, so he started experimenting on himself. And that's how then he came across this principle of homeopathy, that what likes, can, sorry, just 1 minute again. What causes in a healthy person can cure in a sick man. So for example, अगर आप
इसका आप मुझे हिंदी में बता दीजिए.
जी, so I'm giving an example.
Yeah.
So supposing अगर आप, it's based on the theory of vaccination. So for example, if you cutting an onion, अगर आप कांदा काट रहे हैं, प्याज काट रहे हैं, तो आपके आँखों में से पानी आता है, आपके नाक में से पानी आता है. So then if you make a medicine out of onion, and if somebody's got a cold, जहाँ पे नाक बह रहा हो, आँख में से पानी आ रहा हो, so that cold will become all right with onion as the medicine. So it's very similar to vaccination, that when you inject something in the body, your body reacts and builds antibodies against it.
Correct.
So homeopathy is based on this principle. तो उसने फिर उसको रिसर्च किया, फिर उसको और ज़्यादा एग्जाम्पल जैसे करे, and that's how then it became formulated and then became very popular in America and Europe. पर इंडिया कैसे आया?
Correct.
So इंडिया में जो है महाराजा रंजीत सिंह है, उसको जो है वोकल कॉर्ड का पैरालिसिस हो गया. He could not speak because people who use their voices, and lot of our own singers also get it, कि अगर आप politicians and singers, when you use your voice, then you get paralysis of the vocal cord, or you get what is called a vocal cord nodule. उसकी वजह से आवाज़ जो है वो क्रैक होने लगती है, and it's not normal. So then you cannot take the high notes, you cannot sing very much. So ये जो है महाराजा रंजीत सिंह को हो गया, nobody could treat it. So किसी ने उनके कोर्ट में कहा कि भाई एक ऑस्ट्रियन डॉक्टर है जो डॉक्टर सैमुअल हैनेमन का चेला है, जर्मन डॉक्टर का, वो होम्योपैथी करता है, वो बहुत अच्छा है, आप उसको बुलाइए. So this doctor was called to the court of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and he gave some homeopathic medicine to the Maharaja, after which his voice came back. So because his paralysis of the vocal cord was treated by homeopathy, that was the first homeopathic medicine that was given in India.
Okay.
And then he said कि अभी तो ये आप बहुत अच्छे डॉक्टर हैं, आप यहाँ पे रह जाइए, don't go back to Europe and stay over here. So from there, then homeopathy became very popular in India. Then it went to Bengal,
Correct.
And then Dr. Sarkar was, and Dr. Sarkar was the first homeopathic doctor actually licensed in India. Okay. So started from there. And yes, as you correctly were saying, it's very, very popular in Kolkata.
Correct.
On every road, you've got some homeopathic pharmacy, and so many hundreds of thousands of homeopathic doctors as well. So from there, then the missionaries took it over. Then, they started so many free clinics, as part of outreach to poor people. So it became very popular. And that's how then homeopathy then came to India. So it's a long story, but in brief, today India is the largest market for homeopathy. Almost 7,000 crores worth of homeopathic products are sold in India, including services. The second largest is France, and then of course Germany, USA. So homeopathy has the largest number of doctors in the world, homeopathic doctors. 3 lakh homeopathic doctors हैं आजकल, which is the largest in the world. It has the largest number of homeopathic institutions, more than 180-90 colleges. So homeopathy is actually the number one. India is now the number one in homeopathy in the world.
And also, is it correct for me to say that homeopathy is also one of the most controversial medical line?
So
Normally क्या होता है, I'll tell you. So मेरे सर्कल में अगर किसी भी चीज़ों का इलाज करना हो, सबसे पहले हम सब कुछ ट्राई करते हैं. अब लास्ट में आके हम सोचते हैं कि एक बार होम्योपैथी जाते हैं, और ठीक भी होता है. और जब ठीक होता है, ऐसे ठीक होता है 3-4 साल, फिर हमें दिखाई नहीं देता दैट वट एवर द बीमारी यू विल हैव. क्या है साइंस?
सो सबसे पहले तो आप मेरे ड्रीम सर्कल में आइए. ओके, जो आपका सर्कल है उसको आप छोड़ दीजिए.
आई थिंक आई ऑलरेडी एंटर्ड फ्रॉम टुडे.
So that's the first thing, because I agree with you that it's absolutely true. People believe that homeopathy is good as a last resort.
Correct.
And well, actually it can work much, much better if you start taking it from the beginning. People come to it only for chronic problems by and large. But it's not controversial. It's made controversial by media, by drug companies, by other things, because it's the fastest growing medical system in the world today. And it's already the second largest. It's the youngest system, and it is the second largest system of medicine in the world, more than Ayurveda, more than Chinese medicine, more than anything else. So of course, contemporary medicine, allopathic medicine is the number one, and number two is homeopathy. So because it is growing very fast, so pharma is growing 10%, homeopathy is growing 25%, back to back for the last 5 years. It has got the royal, Prince, King Charles believes in it. The Queen Elizabeth used it. Queen Mother used it. She carried her black box of homeopathic medicine wherever she went. So I think a lot of, important people have been using homeopathy, and it's become very popular. And I think homeopathy is, therefore, it's challenger medicine. So any medicine or anything which is challenging, if you want to be an actress, when you're trying to come up is when people will try to put you down. When you're already up, then you're up, right? So that's the situation of homeopathy today. Homeopathy today is challenger medicine. It's the number 2 medicine in the world. It's trying to come up slowly to gain more respectability. So people will point fingers at it. Somebody will plant some story saying it's not good. But today it is all scientifically proved. There are so many clinical trials that have been done, more than 300, to show that it works. They're all double-blind trials which are as per allopathic pharmacopoeia. There have been endorsements by MD doctors, and we have in our company also MD doctors who work with us as well, and who kind of ratify the treatments. So today it's very scientific, and it's no longer what you said, controversial. People just try to make it so sometimes, but every time a controversy comes and then it goes down again, and then again homeopathy continues to grow.
नहीं, ये controversial इसलिए भी है क्योंकि जब भी मैं homeopathy medicine देखती हूँ, they all look same, white balls, and बहुत मीठा होते हैं वो गोलियाँ, और किसी भी बीमारी को सेम गोलियाँ दिया जाता है. Can we say that? Or
no, that's a good question. It's a good question because that is a public perception. So क्या होता है कि होम्योपैथी दवाई जो है आप किसी से भी बना सकते हैं. अभी मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ. मानिए अगर आपको इस प्लांट से होम्योपैथी दवाई बनानी है, तो मैं क्या करूँगा, मैं ये प्लांट लूँगा, इसमें से एक इसकी पत्ती लूँगा, उसको फिर मैं कूटूँगा, ग्राइंड करूँगा, फिर उसमें मैं पानी डालूँगा या अल्कोहल डालूँगा, बिकॉज अल्कोहल इज़ अ वेरी गुड प्रिजर्वेटिव. उसमें जो है दवाई बहुत ज़्यादा रहती है. फिर उसको मैं शेक करूँगा, फिर उसका एक पावर बन जाएगा. फिर इसको मैं रिपीट करूँगा 100 टाइम, 1000 टाइम, 10,000 टाइम, ओके, टू गेट द एनर्जी आउट. नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस इज दिस इज़ देन द बेसिक होम्योपैथिक मेडिसिन. यानी जो आप होम्योपैथिक दवाई होती है, वो जो ओरिजिनल प्लांट है उसमें अल्कोहल डाल के वो दवाई बनती है. अभी क्या होता है कि अगर आप वो अल्कोहल की एक बूंद आप पानी में ले सकते हैं, बट फॉर कन्वीनियंस व्हाट इज़ डन इज़ इट इज़ पुट इन केन शुगर. केन शुगर इसलिए इस्तेमाल होता है क्योंकि उसकी ये जो गोलियाँ हैं इसमें बहुत सारे होल्स होते हैं, छोटे 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 छोटे, तो दवाई जो है उसमें रह जाती है. तो बिकॉज ऑफ केन शुगर, because of the porousness of the cane sugar, the alcohol stays over there for a very long time. It does not evaporate. So the efficacy of the medicine does not go down. यानी कि आप उसको रख सकते हैं बहुत समय तक और आप खा सकते हैं. So, but you can take it in any. So the sweet that you see and the cane sugar that you see is only one of the methods of dispensing, but it's the commonest method. But it's not the only method. Today you can just take one drop under your tongue. Today you can sniff also homeopathic medicines. You can put one drop in between your, so wherever there's a nerve ending, you can use homeopathic. You can use homeopathic medicine as eye drops as well. You can use it as a nasal spray as well. So today there are some cancer medicines in homeopathy today which are also injectables. So you get it in different forms today. But the most popular form is the meaty goli, which is why even kids call us candy doctors. But it's not the only way in which you can dispense a medicine. It's just a popular way.
You just mentioned briefly about cancer.
Yeah.
Tell me why cancer is so common these days. What are we doing wrong so that किसी भी age में cancer हो रहा है?
I'm saying, what are we doing right?
Let's go from right side.
Let's ask that question
Yes.
first. Okay, so according to me, there's nothing that we are doing right. I think we are doing a lot of
Nothing
things.
we are doing right.
Well, a lot of things we are not doing right because of the
Please
modern world.
enlighten us.
Because of the modern world that we are living in, and because of the lifestyle that we are leading. So, one of the commonest causes of cancer, for example, in India, if I restrict myself to India, is tobacco smoking and tobacco chewing. Okay, so nicotine is one of the biggest reasons for cancer. Almost 40% of all cancers in men are oral cancers, which because of the gutka, because of the cheni that we eat, because of the things that we ground and put in our mouth like this, so it stays over here. You get what is called leukoplakia, which is like a early cancer, which then develops into oral cancer. I'm saying we are so immune to the habit that we are using tobacco, and the way we use it, that we don't even want to be educated about it. So I remember, I hardly go to a movie, but I saw a movie recently, and I remember that there's this lovely documentary that comes about cancer, not to smoke, and I cannot tell you how many people I saw who just covered their head and said, वो जरा वो documentary खत्म हो जाएगी तो मुझे बताना, then I'll, and of
Exactly,
course, and of course, and they were all smokers. So smokers don't even see. So even though now it's mandatory to put that picture on the pack, but they will not look that side. They will just put that side away, and then they only look there and then put a cigarette in and light it. So that's how it is. So I think it's a lot of it comes from bad habits. So we know, for example, I'm just giving you one example. So smoking, tobacco chewing, gutka chewing, and the kind of advertisement that we are doing for it, the kind of support they're getting from film stars as well, to have it because, it's hero, it's macho, I must do that. And now women are also smoking a lot more all over the world. Again, a lot of it is because of emancipation, to say that, we are as good as men, and therefore if they can smoke, we can also smoke. It's a statement as well. So that's not the only reason. Of course, today women are so much in the front of everything that they are doing, and they are much ahead of men as well. And I always say this, and especially in medicine, I always say that women make better doctors because they are empathetic, and they are kind to people, and they bring a human touch, which is very important. So, coming back to tobacco is a big vice today in India.
But I
and
think
today, even 17% of women who have oral cancer are also women. So getting rid of this habit is very important. Keeping awareness of this is very important. And I always say this as an example, which was research was done many years ago when I was teaching in London, where the government decided that they said on an average the tobacco industry is spending £2 to advertise their products. They said against that we will spend 10 pence.
Yeah.
But over a period of 10 years, the number of smokers went down drastically. So £2 versus 10 pence, correct? But having a sustained campaign and making people aware that smoking is bad for health, and that you cannot. So obviously, this is one reason for cancer, right? Because we are smoking too much. That's number one. Number two, again, is the kind of environment in which we live, because there's lots more lung cancer because of the smoke, because of the pollution that we live in, especially because we're living in bigger cities. The third thing is the food, because the kind of food that we are eating is also not organic. It is not normal. Even organic food is actually not organic
anymore.
It is just commercial, and it's just labeled like that just to get more money out of it, out of people, out of the consumer. So what happens in food again? We are using pesticides. okay, which are harmful chemicals in our food. So even if I say I'm a vegetarian, therefore I'm eating healthy food, it's not necessarily true, because the vegetables that I'm eating, they'll have poison in them.
Correct.
And I'm eating it every
Chemicals.
day. So similarly, a lot of hormones go into cattle. So even milk is not good, because it's, the cows are fattened to give more milk. And then I'm taking it. So I've done a lot of research, and we found a lot of women.
So you're
So a
saying
lot of
even
women.
milk is not
Milk is
considered
not.
as a.
No, milk is not good anyway. But that we'll come to that a little later.
Please.
But a lot of women I've done research on suffer from PCOD.
Correct.
Also, they lose hair. They have hair on the chin. They get irregular periods. Again, it is because of the hormones in the milk. So because there so much of hormones are put into cattle, so that they produce more milk. They're all given antibiotics, they're given steroids, and they're given hormones. Now, all of this, when you eat meat or when you drink milk, it comes into your own system. And obviously, at some stage, then this is also not good for you. So this is also another reason for having cancer. So the kind of food that we eat, the kind of air that we breathe, and the kind of habits that we have are really responsible for cancer today. And it's becoming far more common, because earlier people used to die, without it being diagnosed. Today there are so many diagnostic methods. And again, if it is detected in time, a lot of cancers can be treated and cured. So again, creating awareness for this is very important.
So tell us, what could be the indicator, the first step of the indicator that I am having cancer cells?
Now that's very difficult to say, because
कुछ पैरामीटर्स होगा दो तीन जो
नहीं,
हर
because-
किसी को टेस्ट करना चाहिए या कुछ
well, preventive health checkup is the most important. That's what everybody should do.
once in a year?
Once in a year, must get your check, particularly women, because breast cancer and uterine cancer are the two important things. So I always recommend at least do a mammography once. If you always palpate your chest and see if you've got any nodes. So that's why I'm saying that if they get irregular periods, if they have got cyst, uterine cyst, endocrinal cyst, and if they have nodes in their breast, which is the commonest again, which can easily be treated. So that's why simple things like palpating your breast every now and then, making sure there are no lumps, and once in a year doing a mammography to make sure there are no lumps at all. Sometimes you can't even see them, will help you to make sure that you don't get into cancer, and that you don't get into at least advanced stages of cancer, to nip it in the bud. So that's one thing that one can do. A general physical health checkup is also very important. Once in a way, we actually neglect it. What we do is we always think of it like an accident. और किसी को होगा, मेरे को तो नहीं होगा. और जब हो जाता है तो बुरी तरह से होता है. और किसी को भी हो सकता है. Sure. So the only early signs are actually normal things, like loss of appetite, for example. अगर भूख नहीं लगती है बहुत समय से, अगर वजन कमती हो रहा है unknown reason से, then you should just get yourself checked. Early signs of cancer. So I said that there can be things like loss of appetite being one of them, loss of weight being another one. But like I said, it's always good to just go to a doctor and at least having once a year have a proper checkup.
Now you please guide me, what could be the best diet plan for Indian? Because हमारा habit क्या है? Early in the morning we start our day with milk tea with sugar in it. Samosa तो हमारे favorite है.
Parathe.
Oh my God, how can we miss parathe early in the morning? So, I mean, is that also causing somewhere bad health, and then, the cancer and all of those unhealthy
So,
stuff?
well, not necessarily, but yes, it does cause ill health, because it's very important. ऐसा कहा जाता है कि if food is not your medicine, then medicine will become your food.
And
If food is not your medicine, अगर आप सही तरह से नहीं खाएंगे दवाई की जैसा,
yeah,
तो फिर जो है ultimately then medicine will become your food. You have to keep taking pills all your life.
they also say that
So-
you
so-
are what you eat.
Yes, you are what you eat. Absolutely true. So it's very important to eat the right kind of food. Now, having said that, then again they say that eat breakfast like a king, eat lunch like a prince,
So much of confusion.
and eat dinner like a pauper. So there are lots of things about it. I think the best thing I can say is that जिन्होंने होम्योपैथी को फाउंड किया, डॉक्टर सैमुअल हैनेमन, उन्होंने एक चीज़ बताई. उन्होंने कहा कि every man's stomach is like his foot.
Like his?
Foot.
Okay.
So just like how your shoe size and my shoe size will not be the same.
Different.
Everybody's foot size, shoe size is different.
Correct.
So also everybody's diet is different. There's nothing like a universal diet. He was told, so all these things which tell you, okay, have a high protein diet, have a no fat diet, have a low carb, all that doesn't work. Why it doesn't work? Because everybody is human, everybody is individualistic. जो मुझे सूट करता है वो आपको सूट नहीं करेगा. अगर मुझे करेला सूट नहीं करता है आपको बैंगन सूट नहीं करेगा. It's like that. So everybody has their own individual idiosyncrasies, if I may use that word, and reaction to food. So it's very important, therefore, that everybody has a personalized diet. It's very important. What suits you may not suit me. But by and large, if you talk about a universal diet, by and large, a healthy diet, then the best thing to do is just to have warm water in the morning, because that cleanses your stomach, and not to have tea, because tea has got tannin in it first thing in the morning. Not to smoke a cigarette, because nicotine goes straight into your lungs and into your stomach. So it is more chances of getting cancer, over there. You don't want to do that, and also it causes heart problems again if you are smoking too much. So don't depend on that. It's just a matter of habit. And then start your day with fresh fruits, which is what I do. Just take some fresh fruits in the morning, have a light breakfast in that sense, and then have your lunch at about 12:30, which is a normal lunch. The Indian thali is the best thali because it's complete. So what we learned during COVID also was we realized that people who are having homemade food, जो घर का खाना खाते हैं वो हेल्दी रहते हैं, उनकी इम्यूनिटी बढ़ती है. जो फास्ट फूड खाते हैं, जो बाहर से मंगाते हैं, जो स्विगी करते हैं या जो भी करते हैं, तो उन लोग वो जो है वो बीमार हो जाते हैं, बिकॉज देन दैट्स नॉट फ्रेश फूड. So the best thing to do is to eat home food, fresh food, not to put it in the fridge and then to heat it again. So that's the healthiest thing that you can do. And all the 5 tastes that you have, sweet, sour, whatever, bitter, everything comes in an Indian thali. Because आप थोड़ा सा नमक लेते हैं, उसमें थोड़ी सी चटनी होती है, थोड़ा सा पापड़ होता है, थोड़ा सा, so everything is there. So even all your taste buds, it's a complete food. And we always say this. We always say, why is it that mother's food is best? Because our kind of all the taste buds in our mouth are used to eating that, because we're eating that from childhood, and it's comfort food. हम क्या करते हैं, जब भी हम कभी बाहर से आते हैं, अभी मैं 1 महीने की ट्रैवल से आया हूँ नॉर्थ पोल से, तो सबसे पहले मैं घर में कहूँगा कि भाई मुझे दाल चावल बना दो, बिकॉज दाल चावल इज़ कम्फर्ट फूड. जब भी हम घर में आते हैं तो हमें दाल चावल चाहिए. बाकी की चीज़ तो जो भी है वो तो होगी, बट दैट्स कम्फर्ट फूड. सो बेसिकली जो घर का जो खाना है, जो आप फ्रेश बनाते हैं रोज़, दैट्स व्हाट यू शुड बी ईटिंग. एंड फाइनली देन यू मस्ट हैव एन अर्ली एंड लाइट डिनर. वो जो जैन फिलोसफी है कि बिफोर सनसेट, सो दैट कीड़े ना आए आपके खाने में, टू हैव फूड, बट इट्स ऑल्सो हेल्दी. सो इट्स इन अ वे इट्स लाइक making sure that you don't eat and you allow your stomach to, it's a factory. You cannot have it working overtime. And every time when we keep eating all the time, so you just have a window for eating. You eat during the day, and then after 6:30, 7 o'clock, latest by 8 o'clock, you have your dinner, and then you don't eat till next morning.
But there are half of the people, they were not able to have their dinner before sunset.
Well, now that's again a discipline. A lot of people do it, and a lot of them don't. I'm saying I do it, I follow it. If I have to go out for a party, then I eat at home and then go. So that I have had my dinner. If I have to catch a flight, I don't eat on flight because I know that they're going to serve food at 1 o'clock in the morning, Indian time.
Right.
So मैं घर से खा के जाता हूँ, नहीं तो मैं lounge में खा लेता हूँ before I go out. So I think it's really about your own discipline, and you can actually make it happen. It's not difficult at all. शुरू में लगता है, शुरू में ऐसा भी होता है कि पेट में फिर चूहे भागते हैं रात को, गुड 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 होता है, because when you get up in the night feeling hungry, but it's a matter of few days. I mean, अगर आप कुछ दिन तक करेंगे तो you'll be able to do it. It's not difficult at all. I've been doing it, I think, for 9 years, and I'm personally on my own thing without any medication. I mean, I've lost 21 kilograms.
Wow.
If you look at my picture 4 years ago and today, I mean, today this is what I am. My jawline has come out. Well,
Exactly.
I always had a double chin. So, it's, so it can be done. I'm saying it's not difficult at all. आप कर सकते हैं. मैं कर सकता हूँ तो सब कर सकते हैं.
बिल्कुल. So weight loss के बारे में भी हमें बात करना है, but before that, you mentioned that early in the morning fruits.
Yeah.
मैंने कहीं पे देखा था कि sugary kind of intake early in the morning in empty stomach is also not good. Do you believe that?
No, not at all.
They say that dates या कोई भी fruits नहीं लेना चाहिए.
No. Fruits have fructose. They don't have sugar, number one.
Okay.
So they don't give you a spike. Number two is because I've done a lot of research on this. I've been to some of the best international spas as well, personally. Always fruits should be eaten before dinner rather than after dinner.
Before dinner.
Before eating, before meals.
So also
the idea
empty
is-
stomach.
Yeah. So
Okay.
therefore empty stomach is not bad at all. It's good. And what we do is हम लोग मीठे के बदले में हम fruit खाते हैं. That's our
Correct.
habit. We eat fruit after dinner, after eating.
Right.
But actually, medically, you should be eating fruit before eating dinner or before eating lunch, because A, it fills you up. B, it is not so easy to digest. And again, research has shown that you should not eat fruit in the evening after 4 o'clock. So a lot of people say कि मैं खाना नहीं खाऊंगा पर मैं रात को डिनर के लिए फ्रूट ले रहा हूँ. That's actually not healthy. That's actually not healthy. So which is why you eat fruit in the morning when it can be digested the whole day and not in the night.
Also tell me, मेरा आदत है कि I like to have smoothie or juices from the fruits.
Terrible. So I mean, you're already looking like $1,000, but I can make you look like $1,000,000 if you actually start listening to what I'm telling you.
Please.
So fruits are to be eaten raw. When I'm saying raw, I mean not as juices. When you take the juice out of a fruit, then the pulp part, the fiber goes away. So when the fiber goes away, a lot of the nutrition goes away. So it's not healthy to have juices, but it's good to have the whole fruit. Now, whether it's an apple, whether it's a banana, of course, but whether it's an orange, which is the commonest
But
thing that we
it's
have.
easy to drink. You just gulp it and then you finish the whole
You see,
half of the watermelon.
Sure, but unfortunately, good health doesn't come so easily. If you need good health, then you have to work towards
You're
it.
making me very sad
then
right now.
Why do you go to the gym? Why do you
Correct.
exercise? You're causing your body some pain, right? Some discomfort. But you're doing it so that you look like $1,000,000. You're doing it so that you look fit, right? And so that you don't fall sick. So similarly, if you really want to have a good diet, you want to eat fruits
Raw.
and chew them properly. One of the biggest things is that we don't chew our food properly because we're always in a rush. So अगर भगवान ने आपको 32 दांत दिए हैं तो उनका इस्तेमाल करिए. स्माइल के लिए नहीं, स्माइल तो बहुत अच्छी है, पर अपना खाना जो है उसको चबाइए भी सही, उसको अच्छी तरह से चबाइए. That's why half your digestion takes place in the mouth.
Correct.
And then it goes into the stomach. So if you're chewing your food properly and you chew it properly and not swallow it, the chances are that you'll be much more healthy. So you have to eat fruit. You don't have to drink fruit.
Now let's get into fat loss, the biggest topic of today's generation.
So if you continue, you don't have love, but you have food. And then you keep eating food to keep yourself happy. And then you will become overweight. So if you have emotional problems, if you're under stress, you have emotional problems, if you do not exercise, and you eat the wrong kind of food, you're going to become overweight.
We are coming to that on our mental health topic. But before that, मैंने एक research देखा था जहाँ पे लिखा था 4.4 billion people in the world are under obesity. And interesting fact ये था कि जितने भी lower income source वाले community है, they are having extra obesity category. I didn't understand first because I really thought if somebody is coming from the lower level of income, खाना तो कम मिलता होगा. I mean, जिस level पे the quantity we eat, they might not have that much, but it's proven wrong. Then I understood it's not about quantity, it's about what you eating.
Correct.
So मुझे सुनने को मिलता है, people are saying कि I just had milk tea in the morning, 3 समोसे and that's it. But क्यों मेरा weight बढ़ रहा है?
There's a very Japanese are always trim and slim by and large.
Yeah.
And again, there's a theory that they have that they always make sure that, and even the Chinese as well. So number one is they make sure that they have warm tea after their food, so it becomes like a digestive. They always have chamomile tea after their meals. Chinese tea is not with milk; it's just warm water with some tea drops. So because they always have a digestive after food, that's number one. Number two is the philosophy of the Japanese is that you always never get up from a table feeling 100% full.
Okay.
That you always leave a little
This is
bit
new
less.
thing for me.
Yeah. So the moment if you get used to that, which answers your question on small quantities.
Yeah.
So if you don't eat everything till you're एकदम पेट भर गया एकदम, जब तक
There's
डिकार
no
नहीं आए
space anymore
जब
now.
तक डिकार नहीं आए तब तक खाना चाहिए. That's a wrong thing, Because if you
But that's what we Indian do.
no, but that's wrong. So we have to change the habits. I'm saying a lot of things happen because of bad information and bad habit, and that's why we're here to tell people what's the right thing to do, right? So always get up feeling a little hungry, thoda sa, you know. That is one way that which you will never become obese. So eating quantities is very important. Again, eating in moderation is very important. You don't have to deny yourself कि मैं शुगर नहीं खाऊंगी, मैं चॉकलेट नहीं खाऊंगी. बस ठीक है, अगर आपको करता है तो आप एक पीस ले लीजिए. Dark chocolate is not bad at all. It's good for health in that sense.
And the brain.
But you take, and good for the brain, yes. So you take one piece of dark chocolate if you want to have something. Get used to it. It's not as sweet. It doesn't have milk. But have it. So you can always adapt your, like a lot of people, they take good, because they want to have some sweet at the end. Mm-hmm. So you can change your habits to satisfy yourself. And that's very important.
When we talk about obesity, obviously आजकल सबसे ज़्यादा सुनने को मिलता है Ozempic. What is Ozempic?
It's actually a drug which was discovered for diabetes type 2, which is useful for that actually. But of course, people pick it up and use it for all kinds of things, because one of the biggest reasons for diabetes is overweight. So people who are diabetic and are overweight, when they lose weight, their blood sugar comes down to normal. So that is the purpose of that it's like kind of an appetite suppressant. It doesn't allow you to eat so much, don't feel so hungry. But people start using it on their own, but it has a lot of side effects, not just immediate ones like diarrhea and stomach problems and all of that. I have seen a lot of patients who've taken it and then they have to stop it because of these kind of symptoms, gastrointestinal symptoms. They're very common. But also long-term effects as well. And whenever you lose anything suddenly and quickly, you will lose muscle mass as well.
Correct.
So according to me, instead of looking fitter, you start looking 10 years older, because your skin will start sagging, your cheeks will...
I'm getting some pictures on my
I know,
mind.
I'm not going
to pick those names.
I'm not going to talk about it, but you can see that, right? It goes, so that, your cheeks become like this.
Correct.
Okay, so you immediately know, okay, this has been a very sudden weight loss. So weight loss has to be gradual, because otherwise you lose the elasticity of your skin and you start looking older. So even the purpose for which you started losing weight, even that is lost. You want to lose weight because you want to look better, younger, prettier.
Correct.
But not because you want to look older, haggard, and that your skin is sagging. So using it under medical advice is good, but using it for cosmetic reasons is not good. And of course, it's very expensive. You know that.
I don't know that. I haven't used
Ozempic
yet.
Well, thank God for that. But some of my patients have, and I know it costs a lot of money. Even though there's an Indian variant which is now available.
Is it prescribed by the doctor, or anyone can just go and then buy it?
No, it is prescribed by the doctor.
Okay. So even mental health can cause obesity. Can we say that?
It can cause both. It can cause obesity, and it can cause a lot of lankiness and make you very thin, because you can stop eating as well. Mm-hmm. Both ways. So one way, like I said, is that food is like a placebo. So I want to emotionally satisfy myself. So I will keep eating whenever I'm under stress. When I'm watching television, I keep doing what is called TV food. But I'm eating all the wrong things. Most of the time, what are you having? You're having popcorn, you're having chips. You're having that kind of food which is fast food.
But I think popcorn is considered as a good thing to eat.
It depends on how much you eat. It depends on what you eat. I mean, I love caramel popcorn. So if I have caramel popcorn, one tub, I'm finished. My whole day's calories are gone.
Correct.
So it depends on what you eat, and depends on how much you eat again. I've seen people carrying these tubs into movie theaters, literally a tub like this, and then finishing it and then carrying it home as well. So on one side, you tend to overeat because you're under stress. On the other side, you lose appetite, and then you lose a lot of weight. So when you're under stress, then you stop eating, and that's also not good. So both ways it works. It works for making you fat, and it also works for making you thin.
How important it is to talk about mental health? Why even today people are so hesitant to talk about mental health?
Okay, that's a very good question. And first of all, there's a stigma कि अगर मैं साइकेट्रिक के पास जा रहा हूँ या जा रही हूँ तो मैं पागल हूँ, तो मुझे तो कोई पागल खाने में एडमिट करेगा, which is not true, because today the kind of lives that we lead, everybody is under stress in some way or the other. Everybody has a problem.
It's a fast-paced
and we all have an emotional problem, and we all have a problem going back to the past. A lot of us have repressed childhoods, which causes a problem. We have some very strict parents as well, which in today's world don't fit in. That also causes a problem.
High-speed performance
so
mentality.
Then of course, then peer pressure, then parental pressure, then teachers' pressure.
Anxiety. I think everyone, any age group are suffering with mental
and then
health.
only 1% of people get admission into colleges, or 3%, But it is a reason for for us being a stressful society today because of high performance anxiety as well. And that's the kind of life we are living in. But there's no shame in admitting it. There is treatment for it. I mean, my last book that I wrote was on mental health. I launched it in Cannes at the International Film Festival. Almost all the international stars have read it, liked it, appreciated it,
I'm sure.
because I think everybody is suffering from this kind of a problem. But a lot of admission for it and getting treated for it, both are important. So I think it's very important to create awareness for it, because what happens is, unfortunately, and you know that, if I've got a headache or a body ache, then I'll take a paracetamol. So I can get a feeling of something which is physically not correct. But when I'm mentally unhappy or unwell, there may not be symptoms which I realize, but I may start becoming withdrawn. I may start becoming depressed, in the sense I may not meet people. I may not go out easily. I may not want to meet thing. I may get anxious about small things. I may eat faster. I may smoke too much. There are lots of these things which are signs of, but I don't recognize them as depression.
Exactly.
And I don't recognize them as anxiety. So if I was to recognize them and take treatment in the early stages, I would become all right, for sure.
What is that hormone called? Cortisol.
Yeah, cortisol.
Yeah. So one person, how can he measure that, whether I am in this stage of depression, or what is the level of cortisol? I don't know what's the
So
right
you can do that in a
pronunciation.
blood test, but a lot of it is just clinical.
Okay.
Lots of the diagnosis is done clinically, because you go according to the symptoms, you see what the person is suffering from, and according to that, then you treat the person.
But what are the basic kind of symptoms that I might be getting into depression?
So that's
there any
no, that's very difficult, because every person is individually, they all have different symptoms.
Difference.
But by and large, it is starting with isolation, in the sense I will just stay in my room, I will not go out, I will not. Some of them, when they get very depressed, they don't even have bath for days. They will not change their clothes. They will not. Even the house is totally in a mess. The room is in a mess. Everything is just lying around.
And they're comfortable with that.
So a kind of a lack of awareness of the surrounding, a lack of awareness of myself, lack of self-confidence, in not wanting to go out, not wanting to meet people. उसको पता चल जाएगा कि मैं पागल हूँ, उसको पता चल जाएगा मेरे चेहरे से कि मैं बहुत stress हूँ, something is not right with me, I cannot go out like this. So basically you stop meeting people and you get isolated. So that is among the first thing. Then of course there's also something like a less amount of happiness. No matter what you do, you don't feel happy. You watch a good movie, you watch a funny movie, but you're immune. It doesn't get into you. You blocked your senses, and you cannot appreciate happiness at all. So your happiness within you kind of becomes blocked, and at some stage it becomes dead. So no matter what you do, even the things that you loved to watch earlier, loved to do earlier, which made you happy, don't make you happy. So a sort of a sadness in your system is also among the early signs that मेरे तो पहले बहुत खुश थी, हमेशा हंसती रहती थी, अभी तो मुझे कुछ भी करूँ तो मुझे खुशी नहीं आती. So lack of happiness, lack of appetite.
But we can fake the happiness, no?
Sorry?
I might look very smiling and then happy, but inside I might be going through some kind of trauma.
Yeah, true, but it's for you to know, to realize it, because you are experiencing it. Nobody can see it. You can put on your makeup and you can, look very beautiful and you can smile all the time.
In public, and then come back to home, and then I'll start crying.
And but you can come back to the room and you can actually break down.
How does homeopathy help for mental health?
So homeopathy is very, very good for two reasons. Number one is that it's not addictive.
Right.
That's very important, because lots of the medicines that you take in your antidepressants are addictive. You have to take them for lifelong, which you don't have to take in homeopathy. And number two is that they don't have side effects, because a lot of the medicines have a lot of side effects. So while yes, they do help as well, because it's a chemical imbalance and some of them do help, but when they are overprescribed, or when things are, when they don't work well with you, they can cause a lot of damage to your mind as well. So homeopathy, because it is safe and because it is non-addictive, are two reasons why homeopathy will work very well. The third reason, very important reason, is because homeopathy is holistic. Homeopathy is not about physical, chemical. It's about your whole body. It's about balancing your mind and body together. So when you have that balance which is missing, and when you take homeopathic medicine and through that you can balance your mind and body, is when you really get a cure. It also goes back into your childhood repressions, like